Schools Chancellor Anthony Alvarado. Criminal court judge Amy Huvelier increased the bond from $10,000 at the request of Rice. The prosecutor said that in a bail application affidavit, Chin swore his income was $32,000, when in fact it was much more substantial, that his assets were more than $400,000, much of it in banks outside of this country. And I'll have more news for you after this message from Zenith.
This is Space Control. We're T-minus 60 seconds from liftoff and counting. Do you copy, Commander?
Roger, Space Control. All systems are go.
Commander, our monitors are detecting a color television on board.
That's right, Space Control. You see, I brought along my new Zenith Advanced System 3 color TV. Gonna be a long trip, you know.
Commander, then you are confirming a color TV on board?
Oh, it's not just any color TV. It's Zenith Advanced System 3, the smart set, the only color TV with a computer brain.
You'll have to surrender the Zenith color TV, Commander.
Oh, come on, guys. This Zenith Advanced System 3 has everything I could ever want. 178-channel quartz electronic tuning capability, trifocus picture tube for that great Zenith color picture, and computer space command remote control convenience.
All right, you can keep the Zenith, but only if you can tell us where you plan to attach the antenna.
We're working on that.
Remember, at Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on.
A bank vice president, a university professor, and a textile company designer were among those ticketed in a crackdown on subway slug use, a practice that has increased 50% since the 90-cent fare began January 1st. The Transit Authority said today 15 people were issued desk appearance tickets on Monday and yesterday at the Chambers Street and 59th Street Lexington Avenue stations. Robert Yeager of Howell, New Jersey, an insurance adjuster, was indicted here today on charges he took bribes in return for issuing false reports recommending payment for fire damages in buildings destroyed by arson. Yeager was charged by a Manhattan federal grand jury with conspiracy and interstate travel in aid of a bribery scheme. Each charge is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine if convicted. A midday retirement party today at the American Standard plant in Plainfield, Connecticut, turned into a pot party, and 6 employees were rushed to the hospital after ingesting marijuana-laced brownies at the party. However, they were not seriously sick, and they all were released after treatment. Up next, national and world news from the Associated Press. Here's Wendell Goler in WMCA, Strauss Communications, New York, New York. Good Guy Radio. The time now is just 6 o'clock.
AP Network News, I'm Wendell Goler. An Army helicopter with 2 senators aboard has been shot down in Honduras near the Salvadoran border. Officials say none of the 7 people aboard the chopper were hurt, and all were apparently picked up by a second Army helicopter that had been flying with the first. Florida Senator Lawton Childs and Louisiana Senator J. Bennett Johnston were the 2 senators involved. Both are now safely back in the Honduran capital. The wife of the Honduran ambassador was also aboard the chopper. Construction of New Hampshire's controversial Seabrook nuclear power plant was suspended indefinitely today. Utility officials laid off all but 1,000 of their 6,200 workers. Financial pressures were blamed, but that is nothing new at Seabrook. Today's decision affects the principal reactor at the plant. Correspondent David Wysocki tells us work on a second reactor at Seabrook was halted weeks ago.
The joint owners, the 16 utilities that own both units of the Seabrook plant, had voted in September to virtually halt construction on Unit 2. This also means construction now is grinding to a halt on Unit 1, which is 73% complete. Unit 2 was 23% complete.
The plant was originally expected to cost $850 million. Permit estimates indicated it'd take $9 billion to complete the 2 reactors. Public Service Company officials say there is still hope new money will be found and at least 1 reactor may be completed. British sharpshooters continue to surround the Libyan Embassy in London. British diplomats in Tripoli have been allowed to leave the embassy there, but their homes are under guard. And an unidentified Foreign Office spokesman tells us it is unclear whether that guard is protective or restrictive.
They are under guard. Now, given the previous situation where the premises and the homes of diplomats in circumstances are protected, it's not for me. I'm not in a position to make a differentiation between whether the presence of the guards are still protective or whether they're there for other reasons by the Libyans.